Good morning guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Primrose and today we are looking at the 3 plants in my collection that I have been having trouble or struggling to keep them lush, keep them looking healthy and alive. So this is my Boston fern, and it's currently living in the bathroom. It's been here for about over a year now, and this plant is known to thrive in a low light condition, but in my experience that is not the case. It likes bright indirect light, and this is my east facing window, and it's supposed to get a very early direct sunlight, but we have a building in front of this window, so it's not doing that. But definitely this plant is getting sufficient amount of bright light all throughout the day, especially on a sunny day like it is today. So the number one issue is the brownings of the browning of the leaves and the fronds. So you have to keep up with the pruning schedule, cleaning up, and it could get really messy. And the second issue is low humidity is the enemy of this plant, especially in the winter time. Dry air can cause a lot of brownings. It could get really ugly. And the third issue is you cannot let the topsoil dry out a little bit, or else you will have fronds that have a really sparse leaves hanging on it. Let me just show you an example. Well, I just pruned it like 3 days ago. For example, that one. So half of its frond here is like empty. It's gone. So you cannot let this plant dry out even just a little bit. The third issue is that after some time, the fronds are not as thick as when I first brought it home. So I have this plant in my care for about 3 years now, and as you can see, the fronds are like a bit thin. I'm actually thinking of replacing this plant of another plant that is more like on a low maintenance side. But we will see. So that's all about this Boston fern. So this is the area where most of the plants that are just trying to recover, I placed them all here. And I wanted to point out the second plant that I have been struggling to grow lush, healthy and alive. So these are my calatheas, at least what used to be my beautiful calatheas. So this is the medallion plant. It looked very bushy and healthy and beautiful, but now it's got only a leaf and a half. So number one issue is these plants could get that burnt leaf on the edges. It starts on the edges first, and then it travels right into the middle until all of the leaf is consumed. And that's the reason why I chopped off all of these. The stump are still feeling a bit firm, so I will wait and see if these plants will come back. I do not like a lot of minerals, so tap water is not best for them. And if you do not have access to rainwater, that could be a problem because they don't like tap water. And the second thing is they do not like regular feeding. They could certainly benefit from a diluted fertilizer, but you have to space it out. You cannot do it like any other houseplants where we feed them every second watering. So these plants are different. So those are my issues with these plants, but I'm not giving up because the foliage of these plants are so beautiful. So as I lose these plants, I gain some experience. So I think I will try to reintroduce Calatheas in my collection sometime this year. And then the third plant is my peace lily. So I don't know about you guys. I know a lot of people find this plant very easy to cultivate, but I have been struggling with this particular plant. So I have this in my care for over 3 years, and it will be impossible for you to believe if I say that that is the mother plant, or used to be the mother plant. So what happened here is that it was growing very rapidly that I had to divide it, and I did about 2 divisions the other year, and I did not wait for the plant to recover first. I did the second division after a few months of the first one. So it took a major setback, and it's been, I don't know, it's been trying to recover. I might have to get rid of it now, but this is the first division out of that mother plant. So for the first 2 years of its life, it was in a corner, not completely dark, but not getting enough bright light. So the issue is this. It's a leaf burn, and I used to have a lot of leaf burn, especially on the new leaves. And someone told me that, oh, it could be a sign of overwatering, but I usually wait for this plant to like droop its leaves a little bit, and that's the sign for me to give it water. And I don't give it a lot, just enough to keep the soil moist for about 5 to 6 days. And I have been very careful with my watering, so I don't think it's the case of overwatering. So this plant did not get any feeding at all until last year. It was in the beginning of fall last year that the leaf burn was spreading, and I thought it could be a sign of deficiency. So I started feeding the plant and then treat it with Epsom salt. But it was nearing winter time, so I feed it once, and I did the Epsom salt treatment only once, but it significantly improved the leaves. As you can see, the new leaves are a lot stronger. It's not as flimsy, because before it was very thin. It was looking pale, but now as you can see, it's a lot greener. The color has improved, and it's not flimsy anymore, but I still get that, but not a lot as before, not so much. So what I'm doing with this plant now is I start feeding it again now that spring is here, and it's a lot warmer, and we have more sunshine, longer daylight. So I started feeding it again, and I'm giving it Epsom salt, because Epsom salt can actually increase the absorption of calcium, and if you get that flimsy new growth, it could mean that the plant is deficient in calcium. So that's what I'm doing, and I also moved it in a space that it is getting a more bright indirect light. So I will see how this plant would react to that kind of care that I am giving it now. So I will definitely make an update of this plant later on. So that is all, and thank you all so much for watching. Take care. Bye.